are going to study
Morning, Father.
as I started last week or so, the Merchant of Venice, and we gave a brief introduction to our portions, and now we will go ahead with the third act, scene 1. Before we start the third act, it is good for you to recollect all what you have studied in Act 1 and Act 2, the highlights. What are the notable scenes and what are the notable dialogues, and where are these scenes and dialogues taking place? The entire drama takes place in two places. One is in Belmont, where Portia is, and the other is in Venice, and that is the place of Antonio, Bassanio, Shylock, and so on. And Venice is the main place of action, and finally, even for the fourth scene and the fourth unit, the fourth act, the action will come back to Venice. So Venice is the primary location for all the action of drama. You have heard of two stories. The story with are you recording? The story of the barn and the story of the casket. These two stories you have already been introduced. The story of the bond will get settled only towards the end, and the story of the casket, where different people, the princes and the nobles, the rich people, they come to try their luck for Portia. She is the richest and beautiful lady, and so everybody wants to win her hand in marriage by going through that lottery of choosing the best casket, the right casket. This will get resolved more or less in the third act, but its final action takes place only in the end. So these two stories you will have to, which are already introduced in Act 1 and 2, you will have to know in detail. That I am not going to touch upon. What I will be doing is Act 3. Act 3 is a place where lots of twists and turns are given to the normal plot. Till now the plot has been going on in one linear fashion, and now you have some twists, some turns are given, some knots are placed so that they are resolved. Some problems are shown for the plot, which will be resolved towards the end of the drama in the last act, that is the fifth act. But for your information, you all know the fifth act for time being is deleted for your detailed study, but it is good to know. So I recommend that you study the highlights. You write down somewhere the highlights of the scene 1, the act 1. How many scenes are there? Where are they taking place? Who are the characters that are already introduced? Those things you will have to know. And then famous dialogues. Famous dialogues, because your reference to the context, you will be tested your knowledge on Merchant of Venice like any other portion of your study by giving you a reference and annotation for you to explain and also answer the questions. So it is good to identify certain important passages that will also help you to recollect the story. So highlights of Act 1, as to how many scenes are there, who are the characters, and what is the main storyline. Highlights of story, highlights of Act 2 also, you must know like that. Yeah, what are the scenes, where are they taking place, and who are the characters involved in narrating the story to us, and what are the main events that are taking place, what are the main dialogues, important dialogues that are interesting to you, you have to note down. And also from the point of view of examination, it's always good to identify certain important passages and know their context, and as you read through, know them, try to know them little more detailed so that you will be able to answer those questions. So I will go ahead with the Act 3. That is the homework that you will have to do, studying the highlights of Act 1 and Act 2. So in Act 3, a twist is introduced to our story. Now you all know the Bond story. Bassanio is already a spendthrift. He has taken lots of money from his friend Antonio, but then he is not able to repay. Still he is taking he needed another 3,000 ducats. Antonio is willing to give, and he took a loan because Antonio is a rich man, but all his money is invested on the trade, and now he has no money. Therefore he goes ahead to get a loan from Shylock, and that's where Shylock is introduced to us. Shylock is the assurer. Assurer is the person who gives loans on big interest rates, and he would extract more than what is needed from the people. So Shylock is the local money lender. He does business by lending money. He collects interest, and his interests are very high. Shylock gives a loan of 3,000 ducats on the bond, writing that in the forfeit of not repaying the fund taken, he will have to give a pound of his own flesh. That's where we stopped in Act 1. And now, in this Act 3, we will hear the sad news that all the investments that are made by Antonio are lost by shipwreck, by carcasses they say, but carcasses means here wrecks, accidents, the sea, accident on the sea. All the goods, all the vessels, ships carrying the loads of goods that are being transported, they are drowned, the ships are drowned in the sea, and all the money, all the wealth of so all the money is lost. Therefore, he is liable now to allow Shylock to take a pound of flesh. And Shylock is happy. That is the twist being introduced. That is the tragic element being introduced. Tragic element of the story is introduced. Another piece of importance also is introduced, that Shylock himself will face the pain of the loss of his daughter. So Shylock's daughter is elopement. She runs away with lots of wealth. Shylock would have been happy if she goes away empty-handed, but then she runs away from home with lots of riches, memorable things for Shylock. These two things are introduced to us in the Act 3, and we will see a lot more twists and turns that are going to be introduced into the plot. But for time being, we will study the Act 3 and Scene 1. In this Scene 1, you have a beautiful passage. You will have to underline and learn it by heart if required, and know the meaning, even if you don't learn by heart, but you must familiarize totally with the passage and see that you know the full meaning of that passage, the Shylock's words. So something is this tragic element, that Antonio's loss of property, is a good news. Good news for Shylock. He is happy, and now he has got a chance to take revenge on his rival in the business. Both of them give loans. Antonio gives loans, Shylock also gives loans, but Antonio does it as a Christian charity. He does not take any interest. His intention is to help out the person in need, and Shylock takes advantage of the human need, and he extracts more and more interest. Interest upon interest, that is what is called the compound interest. He extracts more than due. So the loss of Shylock, the loss of, both have got loss. Both will have the loss, but one's loss causes happiness to other. Antonio's loss will cause happiness to Shylock because he can take revenge. It is an opportunity for him to take revenge. And the other loss of Shylock, that the daughter running away from him and with lots of property, he is losing two things. He is losing his daughter, he is also losing his property. That's also a tragic. So both of them have both the characters, important characters in this drama, Antonio and Shylock. Both of them face loss. Okay, you can if you have the textbook. In my version, it is page 108. You take Act 3, Scene 1. It is always important to notice where the action is taking place. Scene 1 is taking place in Venice. It is on a street. So enter Salanio and Salarino. Both of them are friends to Bassanio and Antonio. Salanio. Now, what's news on the Rialto? Rialto is like a stock exchange. Now you hear people invest money on stocks. People invest money on shares to get the dividends and the profits. As the company is earning the profit, the rate of their share will go high, and as the company is running loss, they will also share the loss of the company, so their share will go down. Very often, the people who invest in stock exchange will become very rich, because all of a sudden they have to be alert. Every day they will have to watch. Okay, Rialto is the place where these ups and downs, the rise and fall of the stocks, the shares are announced, displayed. stock exchange. The modern word is stock exchange. You have Hyderabad Stock Exchange, you have Mumbai Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange. Lots of famous stock exchange offices are there. Rialto is a world word for a stock exchange. That means, you see, the things that we speak of in modern days have been there in those days. Stock exchange. Now, what's news on the Rialto? What is the news on the stock exchange? That's where all the business people gather. They talk of their losses, they talk of their profits. So Celanio is asking now, what's news on the Rialto? Celarino, why? It lives there unchecked that Antonio hath a ship of rich lading wrecked on the narrow seas, the good winds. I think they call the place a very dangerous, flat and fatal, where the carcasses of many a tall ship lie buried, as they say of my gossip report, be an honest woman of her word. So, Celarino has heard that Antonio's ship met with a wreck, an accident in the place called Good Winds. And how did he hear this? He heard from a woman who is known to be truthful, who doesn't say lies. He has heard from the rumor that is spread by the gossip, that is the chit chat that happened in Rialto with a woman. Why? Yet it lives there unchecked. There is an apparently confirmed report that one of Antonio's ships with expensive cargo is destroyed, narrow channel. I think they call the place Goodwin Sands, a dangerous shallow place where many good ships are believed to have been destroyed and their parts lie buried, if a talkative woman's rumor is to be believed. Why? Yet it lives there unchecked. It's a rumor, therefore this news is not checked, unchecked, undenied. It is not denied by anybody else. What is the news? That Antonio hath a ship of rich lading, rich goods. The cargo, the ship full of rich cargo is wrecked, destroyed. On the narrow seas, on the shallow waters where the depth is little, and the place is called Good Winds. Good Winds is the place. I think they call the place. I think the name of the place is Good Winds. A very dangerous and flat and fatal. Flat, not very deep, and fatal, dangerous, causing death. Where the carcasses of many a tall ship lie buried. Where the carcasses, where the body, carcass means dead body actually, but here carcass means the body of the vessel, the ship. What kind of ship? A tall ship, a big ship, lay buried, as they say. So many people say that in this place called Good Winds, lots of big ships drowned. If my gossip report be a honest woman of her word, this report about the shipwreckage of Antonio's ship is heard from the report given by a woman whom I know speaks rather truthfully. And what is the news? A big ship of Antonio carrying rich goods drowned in the sea. That's really a sad news. Celanio, one is Celarino, other one is Celanio. Celanio, I would, she were as lying a gossip in that as were napped ginger or made her neighbors believe she wept for the death of a third husband. I would believe you, what you said. I would believe the gossip that is shared by this woman whom you call honest woman. I would. She were as lying a gossip, she is lying in the gossip. If not for that, I will simply believe her. In that as were napped ginger. It seems while she was sharing the news, one news, she was napped, she was chewing the ginger. You know, ginger, when you chew, it is so spicy, so hot, and naturally tears will flow from your eyes. And for the other person, it is like crying. For a person who does not know that this person is eating, for the onlooker, for the person who sees this lady, will think that this lady is crying. But in fact, she is not crying. She is shedding tears out of intolerable, unbearable heat or spice that generated by eating ginger. Now she made the neighbors believe that her third husband died. Her third husband died. And she is crying there. How she is crying? Eating ginger and showing people how unhappy she is at the death of, how sad she is at the death of her third husband. So she cannot be trusted. She is not truly honest. But it is true, without any slips of prolixity or crossing the plain highway of talk, without heeding too much rumors, that good Antonio, the honest Antonio, oh, that I had a title good enough to keep his name company. It is true that Antonio's ship met with accident. But what kind of Antonio? Oh, that I had a title good enough, that I had the vocabulary to give him an appropriate title, name for this Antonio, who is good, who is honest. These are not sufficient. Good and honest are not sufficient words. I would like to give more, but for the lack of vocabulary or for lack of words with me, for time being, Antonio is such a great man. But it is true, his ship is met with wreckage. Come, full stop. Celerino is saying, come, stop. Put a full stop. That means complete your story. He stopped in between, saying that if only I have good words, good vocabulary, I would like to give a good title to Antonio. And he is not completing the line. And so he says, Celerino says, come on, tell the story, complete the story, stop it, bring to completion. Come, full stop means, come on, go ahead and complete the story. Celerino, what sayest thou? What are you saying? Why? The end is, the conclusion is, he hath lost his ship. Whatever is the story, the final end, the conclusion is, he has lost the ship. Celerino, I would, it might prove the end of his losses. I believe, but I believe that this is the final event where he can lose anymore, where he can't lose anymore. I hope this is the final loss for Antonio. Celerino, I would, it might prove the end of his losses. Celerino, let me say amen betimes, lest the devil cross my prayer For here he comes in the likeness of a Jew. You see, Salanio's comment, he says, I believe so, may it happen, amen. Amen means, amen is an Aramaic word related to Hebrew. It simply means, may it happen, let it be so. What you say, may it happen, may it be true. So, let me say amen betimes. Let me say amen along with you immediately, lest the devil cross my prayer, lest the devil stop my prayer, devil overtake me and stop my prayer. For he comes in likeness of a Jew. The devil is incarnated, taking the form and flesh, the flesh and blood of a Jew. So Jew is seen as an evil person. To some of you I suggested that you could write your project on the understanding or Shakespeare's presentation of the Jews and Christians, the underlying conflict between them, whatever may be the reasons, finally leading to anti-Semitism in the writings of Shakespeare. It's a very good, beautiful, big area where you will get plenty of topics, plenty of literature to read. Whenever you choose a topic, always keep in mind, not only now, even later, always keep in your mind to choose an area where a lot of research is done, a lot of material is available, and a lot of guidance is possible. Always choose a topic which is broader, with plenty of opportunities, plenty of sides to it, shades to it, dimensions to it, so that you can learn a lot by reading vast literature that's available. Okay, Salanio is announcing that a Jew is coming to them. They are on the street, they are speaking, and now a Jew is passing by. He says, here comes the incarnation of the devil. In the likeness and image of the devil. Enter Shylock. Now Shylock is entering. How now, Shylock? What's the news among the merchants? Salanio is continuing his dialogue. Now he says, well, Shylock, what is the news among the merchants that are gathered at Rialto? Shylock, you know none so well as you of my daughter's flight. Salanio is actually expecting the news about the losses of Antonio, but here he is speaking of his own loss. You can always feel the resonance when we are feeling with something, and the person opponent, the one who asks question, he may be in another mind and he may be referring to something else, but when the question is faced by us, we tend to answer first from our heart what is happening within us. So Shylock is so much concerned about the elopement, the running away of his daughter, because he not only loses his daughter to a Christian, but he is also losing property, lots of property. So he says, Shylock says, you know none so well. Nobody knows better than you. You know it well. None so well as you. Nobody knows more than you of my daughter's flight. Because Lorenzo is also a friend of both these people. They are all one group. So Shylock is saying that Salanio knows well about the whereabouts of his daughter. Of my daughter's flight. Flight means here running away, escape, elopement. Salanio, that's certain. For my part, I knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal. Yeah, as you said, I know well. And I know this. From my side, I knew the tailor, one who stitches the clothes. I knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal. The wings. You need wings to fly. But what are the wings that Salarino is speaking? He is speaking of the clothes. The clothes which Jessica, the daughter of Shylock, was wearing. So he says, I know the tailor who has made the dress for Jessica. That's certain. I, for my part, knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal. Wings are needed for flying, but here the wings that Salarino is speaking is the clothes that she was wearing. Salanio and Shylock, for his own part, knew the bird was fledged, and then it is the complexion of them all to leave the dam. And Shylock, for his own part, and Shylock knows it well. Salanio is saying, Shylock knows it very well. As a man of wisdom, as a man of age, knew the bird was fledged. The bird has groomed the wings strong, and therefore it is ready to fly. Fledged means getting wings matured so that it can fly. Ready to fly. And then it is the complexion of them all. It is the nature of these birds that are grown up to fly away. There is nothing unnatural about it. And it is the complexion. Complexion means here the nature, the inner tendency, the inner makeup, complexion of them all such birds which grew wings. It is their nature to fly away. From where? To leave the dam. Dam means here the mother. Shylock, she is damned for it. She is cursed for what she has done. Salarino, that's certain. If the devil may be her judge, she will be condemned, provided the judgment is given by devil. But you know, it is a contrary thing. It is not the devil who gives the judgment, but it is God who will give the judgment. And so, Salarino is saying, as you said, she may be damned. She may be damned if she is judged by the devil. Shylock, my own flesh and blood to rebel. See the pain of Shylock. That is the same feeling any parent will have. Anybody, any guardian who raises, any mentor who raises the child. Now all of a sudden the child says no and runs away. The parent will have the pain. Shylock is, after all, is the dad of Jessica, and Jessica has run away now, leaving Shylock. Run away means out of romance, to live with somebody permanently. That means this living is something permanent. Leaving dad and family is something permanent. So my own flesh and blood to rebel. Why this elopement or this running away, this flight is a rebel. What is a rebel? Rebel is to fight against, go against or oppose. Why? This elopement is an opposition. Why it is a rebellion? The reason behind we will come to know later. Shylock's daughter Jessica was in love with Lorenzo, and Lorenzo, Jessica, both of them run away from Venice. That is the kind of rebellion that Shylock is speaking. It's a rebellion because Jessica is marrying a Christian. She is running away with a Christian, and Shylock is deadly against the Christians, being a Jew. So it is a sort of rebellion. Now he says, my own flesh and blood, my own flesh and blood, my own kith and kin, my own people of the family, or my own, are rebelling against me. Salarino, there is no difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory. There is no difference between thy flesh and hers. I will close it. There is more difference between thy flesh and hers. There is a lot of difference between your flesh and her flesh. Make up. Just like the difference between jet and ivory. Jet is a metal which is lead. Lead is dark in color, black, let us say. And ivory is the tusk. Ivory is the tusk of elephant, and elephant tusk is little creamy, whitish. So white. So the difference is between the black and white. The difference between you and her is like the difference between black and white. They are totally different. More between your bloods than there is between red wine and Rhenish. Rhenish and red wine both are wine. Both are two categories of wine. Red wine is a normal wine, and Rhenish is German, I think it is white wine. So it is something like that difference. But tell us, do you hear whether Antonio have had any loss at the sea or no? Okay, you have told us about your personal loss. You have lost your daughter, she ran away. Now, have you heard also the loss of your great arch rival, Antonio? He seemed to have lost his ships, rich laden with cargo. Have you heard of that? Yes or no? We will see tomorrow.